one for the money. Two for the show.
It's about the erosion of common decency. Sir, when you treat me this way, you encourage me to be discourteous to another, and so on, and so on. You don't have any manners, do you? Then perhaps what you need is an etiquette lesson.
Party people, and the place to be. You know who this is. If you've watched some of my videos, and if you have, thank you. If you haven't, go do that. I'm not reviewing anything right now. I'm gonna take a slight turn on this one. This, as you've seen by the title, is a fat guy's guide to gym etiquette. This came about because of what happened to me today in the gym. So first time back since before Vegas. Woo, Vegas! Took me a little while to get out of bed, but I got out of bed. I got down to the gym. I was in there. I was pumped up, not as pumped up as I was before Vegas, but I'm still pumped up. Today my workout was gonna start with me doing some squats. I was gonna start clanging and banging, like this, up and down, clanging and banging. By the way, on a side note, speaking of clanging and banging, one of the main things that got me back clanging and banging, that got me started back on the routines. I got a couple other challenges coming up. Vegas was one challenge. Now I got two more challenges coming up. I got my birthday challenge. Speaking of the challenges, Corey, did you think I forgot about your Halloween challenge? Did you think I forgot about walking down the strip? I didn't. Christmas is over. Playtime is over. Rest time is over. Pumpkin pie is over. The time is now. The gym is there. The time is now. The challenge is on. And you best believe that when Halloween comes round and Vegas comes round and I come round and I walk that strip, electrifying the millions and millions of hot young mamas walking down that strip on Halloween and nothing but the devil horns and just enough saran wrap around that pie so that my corporate teammate boss man don't put him in handcuffs. He's not before I can. Yeah, mamas, you know what I'm talking about. So Corey, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. That's the sound. That's the sound. 24 hours ahead of you already. That is the sound of the most sculpted back and traps and lats and biceps already leaving a dust trail ahead of you. If you smell.
Who is Hooven to? You have any idea?
No clue.
It's cooking.
I can't believe it! There's a Rock's Toys! Stephanie and Tess versus a Rock tonight!
But enough about that. That was fun. I was about to get on the squat rack. There's nobody there. There's nobody on that particular squat rack. There's somebody on the squat rack that I actually do like to use, the guided one, because I found that it helps me with my form. But this was a free one. And there was nobody there. So as I'm walking up, already trying to get myself a little pumped up, it's the first time I've been back in over a week. I moved the weights off to try to rack my own weights. This big old dude, probably just came off the yard, or at least looks like he just came off the yard. Looks like this motherfucker just got out for some stupid shit. So this dude comes up and he's like, "Hey man, here's my weights. You can't just move my weights." Nobody was here. I didn't see anybody. Now, 5 seconds earlier, I saw this motherfucker, and he was over with the free weights. Nah, man, I move around. I ain't just on one station. I float around other stations. What you think you're doing? Move my damn racks. This is 5 o'clock in the morning on a weekday. The gym is busy. This isn't 2 a.m. This isn't a Saturday night. This is 5 a.m. in the morning. Early risers get up and go to the gym at this time, and you have to share the fucking equipment. Whatever, dude. Yeah, nah, man. Whatever, nah, man. I just move. Take it, bro. The fucking gall this guy had. The total lack of human fucking decency this guy had pissed me off, not to no end, but it really pissed me off. I didn't get into it with him. I didn't report him. I just brushed him off because A, I'm already on a schedule that I gotta keep before I go to work. And 2, fuck it. This was gonna be one of those motherfuckers that I run into in life, that I've run into through all sorts of aspects of life, that don't give a fuck about other human beings. They give a fuck about themselves, and that's it. Now, why am I so worked up over this? Why did this shit kind of bug me all day until I was able to get back here to you guys, my couple of fans? I'm going to pour out the last of my Amarado because I'm about to get a little deep on you right now. Basically, since I was about 9 years old, I've been very conscious about my weight. Basically, that was about the time when kids started being cruel about shit. Actually, before then, I was average weight and actually skinny. And once I was about 8, I thought I was too skinny. You gotta be careful what you say around kids. Like, some adult said that was about 5 or 6. Some adult was like, oh, he's real skinny. I wasn't skinny. I was actually average. But I thought I was too skinny, so I started packing on weight. Because I was a stupid kid. And so I started packing on weight, and I started noticing I was fat. And then that's when kids started noticing that I was chubby, that I had a little gut. Every time I went shopping with my mom, I did husky shit. You know what I mean? And that shit lasted through high school. And so I've gone through these ups and downs of I'm going to eat right and I'm going to exercise, or I'm going to eat right or I'm going to exercise, or both, or whatever. A couple years ago, when I was trying to get into better shape for wrestling, I was thinking about signing up for a gym, and I talked to my best friend Kyle, one of my best friends, Kyle. And this is one of those conversations that puts him in a class of very few people in my life who I consider to be brothers. We went down to another wrestling friend's gym who let us in, and we were working on some weights, and he was doing some free weights, and I was telling him how, if I go to the gym, I usually go on the machines, and he's like, yeah, but you should really start doing the free weights to help with controls and all the other stuff, and you can, just give me the benefits of using free weights. And I'm like, yeah, but I've seen the motherfuckers who are on the free weights, who are on the dumbbells and all that other shit. They're usually yoked. They're usually big. And he's like, yeah, that's how they get that way. And I'm like, okay. I don't want to be judged. I don't want them to come say something or maybe laugh. Like, I was in my early 20s, but I immediately went back to being a fucking teenager, a young teenager at that point. And I was like, I don't want to be judged by these motherfuckers. He's like, they won't say shit. Like, if anything, what'll happen is if your form is bad, they might say, hey, lift on this side, and they might come and help spot you, but they're not going to make fun of you. This guy this morning reminded me of the idea that I had of those motherfuckers a couple years ago when I decided to go to the gym that time. And the gym that I go to is real cool. It's real laid back. It doesn't matter what time of day you go. Busiest time of day to go is usually after work. That's why I don't go then. But even then, everybody's cool. There's, nobody's trying to fuck with anybody else. You know what I mean? This guy decided he was going to put his ego in front of everybody. He was going to put himself in front of everybody. Listen, motherfucker. You don't own the fucking gym. You rent it like everybody else. You rent it like me. You rent it like the people who are bigger than me. You rent it like the people who walk in that first fucking day and may or may not use it a week from now. You don't own that shit. There is an etiquette to using the goddamn gym. If it's the dead of night, go ahead. You know what? Because when I was let into a gym, I'm not going to say who let me into what gym. I'm not going to put you on blast like that, Josh Rose. But when I was let into a gym that was relatively quiet, relatively private, guess what? I was able to do that. I was able to circulate. And when somebody else came in and decided they were going to use some of the equipment, I had to adjust accordingly. In the mornings, in the afternoons, and damn near any time on the weekends, you have to do that. You can't circulate the way you feel like you can circulate, especially from one thing that's on the fucking south side of the building to another thing that's on the fucking east side of the building. That's bullshit. If you want to circulate between one back machine over here and one back machine over here, fine. You want to circulate between the curls and the tricep let down machine, okay, we can work with that. But for you to come over and think that you own this shit is completely reprehensible. I'm talking to him. I'm talking to all the meathead motherfuckers like him who give bodybuilders a bad name. I've known bodybuilders. I've known wrestlers who have huge muscles, and a lot of those guys are really good guys. A lot of those guys, if you go work out with them or go to the gym where they're at, they'll be cool about shit. I've been in situations where I do a set, maybe two, and then I need some water. And I look down and I see that my water's in the fucking locker room. Guess what? I go to go get it. Somebody is on the spot. Now what do I do? As a functioning human being who understands other human beings, what you do is you either say, excuse me, I was on that. I just went to go get my water. I was on that. I'm not trying to interrupt your workout. Would you mind if I work in with you? Which has happened to me before. Somebody came back and said, would you mind if I worked in with you? Not a problem, bro. Let's work in. I understand this may be the last thing you're trying to do. Well, it's the first thing I'm trying to do. Go ahead, man. And in the time you do your sets, that cuts down maybe my rest time. That maybe gets me pumped up. Maybe I'm more motivated as I'm spotting you. Who the fuck knows? You're as a human being, you interact with human beings like you got some goddamn sense. Or maybe you wait. Maybe if it's the last thing you got to do, you wait. Maybe if it's not the last thing you have to do, or in this motherfucker's case, where he was already doing other shit, he can go back and do his other shit. This fucker doesn't own the gym. And when he did that ghetto ass, bow up, fucking, like he's a fucking vet on the fucking prison yard bullshit in the goddamn gym, it pissed me off. It took me back to a place where I don't like to be, and it fucked with my whole day. There's a saying that I've seen float around the internet that's like something along the lines of, be careful what you say to others. You don't know what kind of battles they're dealing with on the inside. He either doesn't know what kind of battle I'm dealing with on the inside or doesn't give a fuck. Maybe he saw me and said, oh, this motherfucker's out of shape. Fuck him. This motherfucker's a foot shorter than me. Fuck him. I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. That's fucked up. And it never should have happened. So what I'm trying to say is, to anybody watching, treat people with fucking respect. Respect is something that's earned, I believe. And a lot of people believe. But guess what? We all start with a base amount of respect, I think. At least I try to. I start off with the base human respect for people. When people then disrespect me, that's when I get upset. That's when I get angry. And that's when a lot of times things have turned south. It angered me, but it hurt me first. And I'm man enough to admit that it hurt me first. Part of the thing that motivates me going to the gym this time around is the fact that I looked in the mirror and am fucking disgusted with what I see. I've made progress. You know, belt loops come a notch smaller now than they did when I first started. Clothes fit a little bit better that I already have in the closet, but I'm not at a point where I'm comfortable yet. And when motherfuckers like this, and it's funny because I'm sure he's one of these motherfuckers who talk shit about fat people, who talk shit about people who are chubby, who talk shit about people who don't have the peaks and the freaks this motherfucker has. But when those motherfuckers, when me and other people like me are in the gym and working out and trying to get fit and trying to make a change, a positive change, he's a motherfucker who lets his ego or whatever the fuck he's doing get in the way. So, fuck him with a rusty, sharp dildo and no lube. That's all I really got to say about that. Gym etiquette, people. Follow it. And treat people with at least a base respect. Now, what happens after that is whatever happens after that. But at least treat people with a base respect. Peace.
I can't believe